Welcome to the lounge. My name is Toby Roydell and I'm so happy you joined me today. In this video, we will talk about respect and what might be the secret behind earning it. Respect is a huge word these days, but there are actually two important questions here, and you can decide which one's the more important one for you. The first one is, how do I get respect? And the second one is, how do I respect others? Those are two completely different questions, and at the end of the video, I will come back to those two questions. There are dozens or tons of videos about the topic respect and how to gain respect on various platforms, especially YouTube. But most of the time, they focus actually quite little on respect and a lot on self-confidence. Now, don't get me wrong, building up self-confidence and general confidence in your own skills and in yourself is never a bad thing. That's always good. The question just is it that helpful in the matter of respect? But what most of those self-confidence and respect type videos will tell you is that you need to assert dominance, to get people in the room to listen to you, and to get people do what you want. Then you get the respect of other people. Now let's dive into that. The first part is the dominance one. Is it bad to be a little bit dominant? No, not at all. Just be careful not to be arrogant or a complete jerk. The second one is the question, is there anything wrong with having people listen to me? No problem either. Sometimes you have something important to say, something funny to say, something interesting to say. Just be sure to pass the ball on after some time and not keep on rambling just because you have listeners. I'm guilty of that too. Everyone is once in a while. And lastly, is there anything wrong with having people do what I want? No, this is one of the tricky questions because it's really, really close to manipulating other people into doing things that serve your own purpose. And that should never happen. People should never manipulate other people into doing things that only serve one's own purpose. But still, there is one thing completely missing. That's one thing completely missing for me, and that is trust. Because without trust, there is no truth and no honesty. Because trust comes from a completely different place. Because it comes from the place called time and effort. Time and effort. You can get respect just because of your position or just because of other things, but it's just not real because you have to put in the time and the effort into, for example, your friends. Spend time with them. Be there for them when they need you. Be that one guy who comes to the concert of a good friend of his. Be that one guy who's always the reliable one, who's always there. That's how you gain trust. And that doesn't only work for your friends. This general concept works for school, for uni, for work. It won't always work with any person. That's just the way it is. But with people you are really close with, or you want to get close with, that works. Spend time and put in the time and the effort. But do you know what deserves real trust and respect? When you could earn an easy win, but you don't take it. You pass it on to someone else and let someone else have a place in the spotlight. A tiny example of that would be, think back to your school days when you knew the answer to a question and you already raised your hand like 10 times during that course, but you know your neighbor urgently needs participation points. You could just tell him or her the answer and encourage them to raise their hand and say the answer, and let them gain a little bit of attention, or in this case, the participation points. Now, afterwards, don't pat yourself on the shoulder and tell everyone else that it was actually you who knew the answer all along and that it's only because of you. No, it's just a thing between you and that person. And that is something personal, and this is part of bonding. And that's why this simple example can be applied to so many different cases where you could take a win, but you do not. You let someone else have a place in the spotlight. And I can promise you, if you approach other people with this kind of attitude, you do not need to be dominant or bossy or manipulative or any other form of kind of aggressive behavior. In the beginning, we talked about the two questions: how do I get respect and how do I respect others? Now, I really hope you feel the same as I do, because as I see it, those two questions are exactly the same. There's no difference, because if you respect other people, you already earned the basics of being respected yourself. It's a give and take. Now, today we covered a little bit and we scraped on the surface of this huge topic of like self-confidence, respect, how to approach other people, how to interact and react to other people's behavior or thoughts and how they behave. So thank you so much for sitting down with me and listening to a little bit of this really, really interesting topic. My name is Toby Roydell, and I hope to see you next time again here in my lounge.